Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stating the Obvious, Defub21, for those who don't know. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, have I got some pretty substantial news for you today. Although it's quote-unquote unofficial news. What's happened, or specifically what has happened, is that the pretty substantial European video games website known as Eurogamer.net has put up two articles, one from themselves, another from Digital Foundry. They're kind of a technical offshoot or slash relative of Eurogamer. That they do things like frame rate tests and they test graphics cards and PC hardware and so on. And they also do stuff on game console hardware. And basically, what Eurogamer is reporting, what Digital Foundry is reporting, is new information on the Nintendo NX. Now, Eurogamer and Digital Foundry are two very, very reputable sources. I'd very much trust what they have to say. They've apparently gotten multiple sources to verify and confirm the information that they've put forward. According to them, and I'll read the headline of Eurogamer article, the Nintendo NX is a portable console with detachable controllers. I'll put up an image. They have the kind of a diagram they've put up of an approximate of what the actual NX looks like in base diagram form. You'll be seeing it about now. And basically, what the image shows is kind of what looks like almost like a Nintendo, actually a Wii U tablet controller. You've got two analog nubs that are replacements for analog sticks, one on either side of the screen at the top of the system. Then below that on the left you have a digital pad, and then you've got your four face buttons, as is kind of typical for a Nintendo controller setup and has been for an eternity and a day. And as part of the same image, there's an image of the screen lying on a stand of some sort, and the two controller interfaces on either side of the screen have literally been physically removed from it and are now two separate physical devices. It looks like the way they're depicted, they're just sitting there on the ground. Each one contains one analog nub, as it were, or sort of analog stick, and one has the digital pad and the other has the four face buttons. They're reporting as well in terms of the innards of the system. I've got that information here. Actually, I'll get into that in a moment. The Digital Foundry is reporting on that. Is that it is using, let's see here, that it is using, yes, that it's using NVIDIA's Tegra mobile processor technology. So it's using ARM CPU cores, not x86, and it's using NVIDIA's Tegra architecture, which is in itself is effectively part of their NVIDIA graphics card family. I think the last 2 or 3 generations of NVIDIA graphics chip architecture have been designed from the ground up to be used in portable devices in the Tegra chips, and can be then massively upscaled in terms of quantity for use in their graphics cards. They're also reporting that Nintendo is recommending a 32GB cartridge for the device. So if any publisher slash developer wants to make physical games for the system, they're going to be on cartridges. I would say 32 gigs won't be what Nintendo's recommending, but I'm sure they'll have higher capacity ones available, because 32 gigs is a bit on the low side for AAA games. Although again, that really depends on the level of capability, because if this information is true, and I'd say it is, unless it's a next generation top of the line Tegra chip technology, then it won't be anywhere near as capable. Even more capable than theoretically than the 360 and the PlayStation 3, but it will not be as capable as the Xbox One, the PS4, unless it has next gen Tegra chip tech in it. In terms of what they've, just looking through the article here, maybe I should have memorized this before I started this recording, but I'll quickly jump to the Digital Foundry article, because I've got a list of the specs. It's running off their grand total of 8 CPU cores. According to Digital Foundry, there are 4 ARM Cortex A57 core ARM CPU cores, and then 4 ARM Cortex A53 cores. Now, why that is, they don't necessarily say, and I don't know. Maybe it's to provide backward compatibility for the 3DS, because that's what the NX is. The NX looks to be the successor to the 3DS. Maybe they need those for backward compatibility. Maybe, according to, again, what's been reported by Eurogamer and Digital Foundry, the system is designed to be mounted onto a docking station that's connected to a television, so then you literally physically remove the controllers and use it to play games in HD on your HD TV, so it can be used both as a conventional home console in that sense, and it can also be used as a portable gaming device. And maybe the higher spec ARM cores are intended for use in the system when it's running off a power supply, and they eat more power but they get you a lot more performance. Maybe that's it. According to them, the GPU core is a second gen Maxwell technology. It's got 256 core second gen Maxwell tech. Media support is up to 4K at 60 frames a second, so that's not games, that's video. So encoding supported, a part that's mentioned here is H.264, HEVC, and VP9. Display support is up to 4K at 60 Hz. USB 3 support, and the manufacturing process is 20 nanometer. But they don't have any information on the RAM setup, although all the Tegra chips apparently are X1 Tegra chips, which is what the system is rumored to be based off of, have shipped with a minimum of 3 gigs of RAM, but it's again mobile orientated DDR3, so it wouldn't necessarily be as fast as what you'd see in the current gen consoles. In terms of other information, it's they mentioned down the bottom that it could possibly be a PX2 chip. In other words, that there's a more advanced version of the Tegra chip tech coming, and that the dev kits might be X1, but the actual final hardware may be effectively X2. Hence the possibility of it being next gen mobile NVIDIA tech, which would be potentially would be able to give the Xbox One a run for its money, because the Xbox One is a bit of a damp squib on the specs standpoint. Something since I paid 500 quid for it at launch, I continue to lament. What else have they got here? That's pretty much it. There's a lot of kind of speculation in terms of what kind of, it might be maybe 720p resolution on the actual screen on the device itself. The Vita's screen is a 540p resolution, and no one complained about that. So 720p would be probably good enough for a mobile device, and that would allow for decent enough frame rates if the architecture, even if it is an X1, because that's again better than the 360 and the PlayStation 3. So that is, this is the first genuine kind of bona fide, to my knowledge, kind of report that's come out from a seriously legitimate gaming website about the very specifics of what the NX is and what its hardware is capable of. In terms of my own kind of personal views on this, I have a PlayStation. I didn't buy a 3DS. I still don't care to buy a 3DS. I have a PlayStation Vita. I've been, perfectly happy with that. When I buy games and they're cheaper, they're on sale. And in all honesty, I don't commute too much these days, so I've not a huge amount of use for it. And the thing that keeps popping into my head: how expensive is this going to be? How much is it going to cost? Even if it's, we're not even talking about forget about $299 or $399. If it was $249 at launch, like the PlayStation Vita, like with the PS Vita, I own one physical cartridge game for the PlayStation Vita, which is the one that was packaged with the system when I bought it. Everything else I bought digitally, and mostly in kind of PlayStation Network kind of digital sales, or the games were cheap to begin with. The problem I would have, particularly vis-a-vis, Nintendo going with cartridges for this, for their next system. Again, for a mobile system at this point, to be launching one that allows for, physical retail copies of games to be sold, it's a backward step, to my mind, and particularly, my concern here in Ireland would be, is that, or it would be, I think it would be a concern everywhere, is that to avoid annoying retailers like, GameStop, they may have effectively put a basement, as it were, on the price of digital versions of games. So rather than getting a digital mobile game for, say, $24.99 or $19.99, we're instead having to pay 40 quid for it, because the Nintendo can't allow, or the third parties won't undercut the retailers, because the bricks and mortars retailers, because that'll, like GameStop, because that'll piss them off, for want of a better term. And that does give me some concern, because we seem to be seeing that here in Ireland. The Xbox Live store is noticeably more expensive in the Republic than it appears to be in the UK. And it seems to be overwhelmingly down to the fact that the games are expensive here in Ireland. You're talking, again, €75. That's close to $90 for an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 game. And it seems to be heavily driven by the retailers here wanting just to gouge us for as much money as possible. It's also a case of, even if it is $249, as I've said before in previous videos, I don't own a PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 Neo is out sometime either this year or early next year. And again, yeah, it's a portable device, but I don't really use my PS Vita. I haven't bought a 3DS. How much is it going to be, and how much am I going to have to pay for it? You know what I mean? I mean, again, as I said in previous videos, it's really down to the NX or the PlayStation 4K, and quite frankly, apparently Nintendo's going to announce everything in September. But yeah, to my mind, even if it is a more tablet type thing, not effectively think 3DS form factor, but more of a, as it seems in the images, to be a tablet form factor. I don't own a tablet, but somehow I don't think a Nintendo system will get an awful lot of, might get some game support, yeah, but app support, I don't think so. And maybe they'll, when they reveal the system in September, if they've got some really cool first party games to show off, and there are a good few of them, and they can give us confidence that they're going to be out next year, that that might give me enough confidence / desire to go out and buy this system. But right now, again, there's so many good exclusive games for the PS4 been released already. Horizon Zero Dawn is coming early next year. I just, again, as I've said previously, Nintendo would have had to have impressed anyway for me to choose to buy a Nintendo machine over a PlayStation 4. But I don't need a mobile gaming device. I don't need a tablet. And it's just gonna, if it's a tablet, if it's these two controllers you can take off, physically removed from it, how much is it going to be? Is it going to be like 300 quid, 350 like the Wii U at launch? If it's anything like 400, they'll be committing suicide. Certainly your hardcore Nintendo fans will buy it, but the rest of the core gamer base certainly will not. So I don't know how exactly they're going to do it. Again, I wish them luck. But again, is it worse than coming out with a conventional home console that's less powerful than the Xbox One or PS4? More importantly, the PlayStation 4K / Neo and Xbox Scorpio, which is coming late next year? No. And it is them, I'd say, show me the games, show me the third-party support. If it does turn out to use the next-gen Tegra NVIDIA tech and it actually can compete with the Xbox One, I'd be certainly impressed. But because of all the first-party games from Sony that either are out already or that are on the way, and because of exclusive third-party games like Bloodborne, again, very much from it comes down to the decision of what game do I buy or what console do I buy come Christmas or not long after Christmas. PlayStation 4 certainly got this. Still, for me, it certainly has the momentum. But Be interesting to see how people react to this over the next couple of days, because this is by far the biggest genuine substantive leak of information or report of information about the NX from a reputable games media source. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, which I'm sure will be interesting, in the comments. If you like this video, please like it, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Yes, the next let's see, it's now July, August, so September. We're almost into August anyway. A month and a bit, and we'll have official word from Nintendo. And unless something really gets in my way that I can't get around, I will be recording that conference. I assume it'll be a conference or a live stream or something, and I'll be letting you know my thoughts as quickly as I can. Anyway, this is Defub21. Nintendo is definitely living in interesting times. Signing off. Toodaloo.